Hey you guys, I'm Margaret, and today I'm going to show you guys my van, a little bit about my van. I bought this van from a nice white guy that was getting rid of it. He had purchased the van for his dad that was in a wheelchair. So he had gutted the van out. He took all the seats out, and he posted the van on eBay after his dad passed away. But nobody wanted the van because it didn't have any seats. But I was looking for a van to convert into a camper. So actually, and I didn't have any tools to take the seats out and everything. So I was looking for, initially I was looking for a cargo van. And but then I said I'm going to take my chances on Craigslist. And then I came across this van that didn't have any seats. And so it worked out perfectly, and I've had this van for going on 2 years now, and it's a 1989 Ford Econoline, and it hasn't given me any trouble. I've been staying on top of it, get the oil change, and I only had one tune-up. It's probably do another one. The only thing I had to do to this van other than my camper conversion is it needed a lot of extensive brake work, and by that time I was fortunate to have found a good mechanic, an honest mechanic, and they did a splendid job. And so basically this van supports my theory that they used to build things to last, and she is still holding up. Well, I call it's a he to me, but I know people usually refer to vehicles as she. But he is still holding up, and I love this van. And I didn't have money to pay contractors to convert it for me, and I still don't have a lot of skills. I'm trying to get enrolled into a carpenter class now, but I did a lot of things just by hand. I got a flat. We got a flat bed made out of milk crates, and we used the milk crates for storage. And the van already had curtains. We got some storage in there. We got porta potty for emergencies. And my son, he actually broke the seat in the van while listening to music. So I replaced the seat. I had my mechanic take the original front seat out, and we just replaced it with I guess some kind of, it's not a lazy boy, but a comfortable chair. And what I love about the van is that it's just a home away from home, and if you have any kind of emergency, all you have to do is just make it back to the van. You can eat in the van, sleep in the van, take care of any of your needs, change clothes in the van, bathe in the van, and that's why I love this van. And we drive around in our van all the time, which we probably shouldn't do that, because it's very expensive. He only gets about 12 miles to the gallon, but we pretty much stay local anyway, so we just putting around the neighborhood, going to the parks, running errands, and hanging out. And so we don't really go too far. I drive him to school in the van every day, so when he gets out of school, I just like for him to have room, and we just be munching out, and we usually run some errands when they get out of school. And I just like the van, and I think part of the loving the van so much too is because it's convenient. It's it's like you have a home. You step out of one house into another house, into your mobile home. And we were homeless off and on for about 3 years. We stayed in a hotel, a lovely hotel. In fact, I was so scared because the hotel was so cheap, and everybody's just afraid of cheap hotels, and but we couldn't afford anything else, so we ended up going to this. I finally found a hotel that I could afford. Now, I found other hotels that I could afford in Chicago, but the ones that we could afford in Chicago were so dangerous and so dirty and so dingy, and just, people hanging out, and deals going on in front of the hotel and throughout. So, but we ended up in Franklin Park, and we found a hotel that's even cheaper. And everybody was just quiet. It was just a quiet hotel, simple, no bells, no whistles, just a simple hotel. And people pretty much, you still had your drug dealers and your alcoholics and stuff like that, but they were quiet. They didn't hang out in front of the building, and it wasn't transactions taking place out in the open and all that stuff. And the hotel was clean, and like I said, all we were looking for was a roof over our head and a clean, safe, quiet place to stay. And we ended up staying at the Lido Hotel for a year. And eventually they got they got free internet. They added free internet to the service, which was great, because we didn't have to go to McDonald's, or we didn't have to go to the park, go searching for free internet once the hotel got the free internet service. And so that was really great. But there were times when we actually had to sleep in the car. We stayed in shelters. We stayed in 2 shelters here in Chicago. 1 year, I think, in 2010, we stayed in a shelter. And then 1 year, but then we went to California. And we ended up staying. Eventually we stayed in the shelter in California, but we stayed in our car. We still have our little Camry, and we were camping out in our car. And I think it really helped that I'm a camper, because we weren't restricted to just sleeping in the car. I was always looking for campsites, and in California there's plenty campsites, and some of them are very expensive. I mean, to me, $35 to sleep on the ground is expensive. But they also have campsites for $2 a day, where you just have a parking space to park your car. You can set up a little pup tent, and they have bathroom facilities and stuff like that. And you have campgrounds they even have free campgrounds. So you have to I was constantly researching, because I didn't know where these places were off the top of my head, but I was finding free campgrounds where you can stay up to 2 weeks. Some you can stay up to 3 weeks and stuff like that. But eventually in California we got an apartment. And but one thing I like about California, they are outdoor orientated, because the weather is so beautiful most of the year. But now it do get cold in the wintertime, just not Chicago type of cold, but it does get cold. And but they accommodate the homeless people. They have a lot of homeless people, because people gravitate to California because the weather's so pleasant. But I really enjoy California. California is just so huge. It's almost overwhelming when you're a person that don't know California, because I've been to California before, and I've been through California, and I visited California, but it wasn't like I ever lived there before and really knew where everything was. But it worked out pretty good, and we got in a very nice apartment. And then eventually we came back here to Chicago, and but this is one of the reasons why I love this van, because it's like you're never homeless when you're in your van. I love the Camry, but I don't never want to sleep in the Camry again. If I'm 10 miles away from home, I won't, and if we break down or whatever, something happens, I hope it happens in the van. And vans are just so much fun. I'm just surprised, now that I have a van, I'm surprised more people are not into vans. I know a lot of people are, but I'm just surprised that not even more people are in the van, because they so convenient. And But now it was hard for me to find one. Like I said, I found this one on Craigslist, and so I mean, unless you're going brand new, and I didn't have. We don't have. I guess I don't know how much they cost brand new. The man sold this one to me for $900, and I must admit that I got a great deal. I got a great deal because it's been 2 years now since we've had the van, and we haven't had any major problems. I think I put about $200 for the tune-up and oil change. This is just different maintenance and stuff. And like I said, I put new tires on it. Well, new used tires. I haven't actually invested in brand new tires yet. I probably will, but it's no rush. I mean, as long as you can find some good used tires, you're good to go. And everything else on the inside, I just did rearranging stuff and the platform bed, the chair, different storage containers and stuff like that. I think on the inside, because I arrange things differently. I change it around just like I change my living room around sometimes. So I might put $100 into one arrangement, and then 6 months later I do another arrangement. So I think on the inside I've put maybe about $400. Oh, I got me a butter heater. A buddy heater. Yes, we got a buddy heater. So this is not only is like our mobile home, but this is also like an emergency vehicle. In fact, we were staying in one of the shelters here in Chicago, and we had the van and we had the Camry. That was wild because it's like you got two vehicles, but you're staying in the shelter. But we had both the vehicles. And we would just retreat, to the van sometimes and just hang out and just go places and hang out. But it's an emergency vehicle too. So, and like I said, and if we have coolers, you have cooler to keep you some snacks and some juice. Try not to drink too much soda, and just basic, the basic things you need, nothing fancy. In a later date, I might do some more fancy stuff, or actually pay somebody to just do some things, put like a dining set in here. But also, camping gear works well too in a van. So if you don't have the skills or the money to pay a contractor, just throw in a portable stove. We have a portable stove in here. We had a buddy heater with a couple of little small propane tanks. I'm not real comfortable with large quantities of propane. Like some people get I guess it's the 5 gallon or whatever that is. But we just have the little small cans, and just to go with the buddy heater. And you can use the large ones with the buddy heater, but we just use the two small. We have two small ones. Actually, we've tested the heater, but we haven't used it. And one of the things about having a heater, even though the van heats itself, it has a heater within itself. You don't have to have the van running and burning gasoline. And one other thing I like about this van is that it has 2 tanks. So if you do run out, and I have run out of gas, but if you run out of the first tank, you don't drive on the second tank. The second tank is just to get you to the gas station. So that's how I do it. And but lately we haven't been running out of gas at all. But if you do, I think anybody in a large vehicle should have 2 tanks. If you're driving a pickup or SUV, any large vehicle, because it's just you just don't want to run out of gas. And it's just really, it's more likely to run out of gas when you're driving a vehicle that burns a lot of gas. So I like the fact that it has 2 tanks, and I painted the van myself. I wanted to. I was trying to pay somebody to paint it, but one person told me it was going to cost me $1,400, and so I'm thinking, And I actually had the $1,400, but I'm thinking, okay, I paid $900 for a van that I'm going to pay $1,400 for. I don't think so. Then another person quoted me for $1,100, and that still was too much. I was just trying to find someone that was going to throw some paint on there, for a few $100, but I couldn't. And so I ended up just going to Home Depot. I got a gallon of Rust-Oleum paint. I think it was like $32, and the paintbrush and the tray and everything was less than $50. And I just painted the van with a roller, and I just painted the entire van with a roller. And actually, it didn't even take the whole gallon. It took me about a half a gallon of paint to paint this entire van. And the reason why I painted it because it had, it's a 1989, but I didn't want it to look like a 1989. It had that dated paint job where the top of it was sky blue and the bottom was dark blue and it had stripes in the middle. So 2 miles away you could see, oh, that's something from 1989. So I'm really happy. I mean, it's not a professional paint job, but I got a little creative with it. It's just an all black paint. The entire outside of the van is black, and I put some gold and silver stripes here and there. And like I said, it's not professional, but it looks better to me. And the thing is, it makes me very, very happy. It's something that only cost me $50. I did it myself, and I'm very, very happy. And the van, I think it's just the cutest little thing. And some of my neighbors, they're just so kind when they see the van. And the ones that have seen the inside of the van, they just say it's the cutest little thing. And I think, like I say, it makes me very happy. My son, he's very happy inside the van. We have a lot of fun hanging out in the van, and it runs good, and it didn't cost us a lot of money to get it to where we're comfortable in it. And that's the thing, and I think like once you've been homeless, I've always been a person that likes to be comfortable anyway, and like most people, but I really wanted something where I also one of those people that's a prepper. So I always wanted something that if the stuff actually hit the fan, we have something to retreat to. And like I say, it's a recreation van to us. It's a emergency van to us. So it's like a prepper type of deal too. Like we get, and I think if you're going to have a van, I think one of the things that you most probably want is a buddy heater, so you won't have to use, be running your van the whole time. And the propane, like I said, I'm not a big fan of propane, but you don't want to drain your battery in your van either. And we also have 2 batteries, but one that's not hooked up to anything. But my son, he likes to listen to music, and as I said in one of my other videos, my son is autistic, so he don't really understand that you can listen to your music, but you're running the battery down. And but anyway, I try to let him do his own thing as much as possible. So sometimes when we run the battery down, we have been able to use the spare battery that's under the hood, but it's not hooked up to anything. But we have been able to use that to jump ourselves, and so that's really cool too. I really like the fact that we can jump ourselves, and we got 2 gas tanks. So with one run out, that lets you know it's time to go to the gas station. And like I said, I just love our old van. It cost us $900, but it was $900 well spent. And you can't beat that. You can't beat that at all. And I think, like I said, the brake work cost me about, I think it was $500 for the extensive brake work, and we put tires on it and everything. But that kind of thing is expected. But if you have a buddy heater, also make sure you have a carbon monoxide detector. We have one. Well, it's back there. We have a carbon monoxide detector, and we also, you ladies, get AAA. They're not paying me to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. AAA. I've been having AAA. I've been driving. I've only been driving for about 20 years, and I've been having AAA almost the whole entire time, except for maybe a couple of years here and there where I would try the roadside service that comes with your insurance company. And when something happened, in my experience, other companies, when you're in need of roadside service, you're waiting and and then you're surprised with some kind of bill or something like that. In my experience, I've just had so much better experiences with AAA, and I love the fact that it's just a once a year. You just pay. The last time I checked, the last time I renewed my services, which was I think about a month ago, it was $58 for the basic plan, and you get like four. You can use it like 4 times. You have 4 emergencies where you can call AAA for that whole year. So it's just really good. It's not that expensive. It's basic plan, and anything can happen. You can lock yourself out of the car. You can run out of gas. You can have a flat tire, and whatever you can either jump or whatever, and it's just really good, and they do a whole lot of stuff. They'll tow you or whatever. They'll try to fix it there on the spot if it's something simple, or they'll tow you where you need to go or where you want to go. If you just want to go home and be in front of your house, they'll do that. And it's just really good, especially if you're not really handy mechanically. And so I would recommend AAA. Guys, they're a little more mechanical savvy. And guys often have somebody they can call, a buddy that they can call. They can, if they can't do it, one of their buddies can or something like that. But I definitely think AAA should be for the ladies. The ladies should definitely get, everybody. Because I try to encourage my dad to get AAA too. He passed away, bless his soul. But yes, AAA, and also have cables on you. In fact, get the little basic emergency kit that has the cables in there, the flashlight. I forget what else it has in there, but definitely have some cables, because some people will give you a jump if you need a jump, but a lot of people don't have cables. So if you have cables, you already have an advantage. And so get the emergency kit with some cables in it, or just get some cables. But the emergency kit is good too, because you have a variety of things like the emergency poncho, stuff like that, if you haven't accumulated these things yourself. Okay, talk to you guys later.